The cabin of Horizon Airlines Flight for 7 to from Chicago to Seattle buzzed with the usual pre-flight hum. The rustle of passengers stowing luggage, the soft chime of seatbelt signs, and the murmur of small talk. But for Maya Thompson, seated in economy class at 2-4B, the middle seat of a cramped row, the atmosphere felt electric with possibility. At 18, she wasn't just another passenger. She was a researcher, a prodigy in artificial intelligence, and the daughter of Daniel Thompson, CEO of Thompson Innovations, a tech empire worth $28 billion. Her mission was simple yet ambitious: to experience air travel as most people did, to observe every detail of the passenger journey, from boarding chaos to in-flight service, all to inform her groundbreaking AI project aimed at revolutionizing aviation safety. Clutched in her lap was a small, sleek device, a prototype she designed herself, capable of predicting technical risks on aircraft with startling accuracy. But as the plane taxied toward the runway at O'Hare International Airport, Maya had no idea that this routine 6-hour flight was about to become a crucible, testing her resilience, her principles, and her vision for change. Nor could she have predicted that a single moment, a sharp slap across her face from a flight attendant named Karen Mitchell, would ignite a firestorm, trending nationwide with the hashtag Justice for Maya, and setting the stage for an industry-wide transformation. Maya adjusted her simple navy hoodie, emblazoned with the logo of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where she'd been invited to a prestigious AI and aerospace summer program. Her dark curls were pulled back in a practical ponytail, and her hazel eyes scanned the cabin with the precision of an engineer. She jotted notes in a leather-bound notebook, a gift from her late mother, Angela, who had been a fierce advocate for social justice before her death from leukemia 3 years prior. Angela's words echoed in Maya's mind. Don't let injustice define you, Maya. Let your actions do that. Those words had shaped her, grounding her despite the wealth and privilege that came with being Daniel Thompson's daughter. Growing up in Detroit's struggling neighborhoods before her father's tech breakthrough, Maya knew the sting of poverty and prejudice. Even now, at the elite Crestwood Academy, one of Chicago's most exclusive private schools, she was one of only 6 black students, constantly navigating microaggressions, teachers questioning her advanced coding skills, classmates whispering about affirmative action behind her back, security guards trailing her in upscale stores. She'd learned to carry herself with quiet dignity, proving her worth through hard work and brilliance. Her father, a self-made billionaire who'd coded his way out of hardship, had instilled in her a mantra: money buys comfort, but respect you earn. Demand it when it's denied. This flight was her chance to demand it, not through confrontation, but through observation. She'd insisted on flying economy, despite her father's offer of the family's private jet. How can I fix what I don't understand? She'd argued. I need to see the real passenger experience: cramped seats, rushed service, safety protocols. Reluctantly, Daniel had agreed, but only if Olivia Grant, her assistant and a former FBI agent, accompanied her. Olivia, a no-nonsense woman of 30 with a military buzz cut and a protective streak, sat in first class at Maya's insistence, I need to be in economy, Maya had said. That's where the real problems are. As the black SUV dropped her off at O'Hara's bustling terminal, Olivia gave her a stern look. Any trouble? You text me immediately. Clear? Maya had nodded, her confidence unshaken. It's just a flight. What's the worst that could happen? The worst began subtly. In the security line, Maya stood patiently, her backpack slung over one shoulder, the AI prototype carefully padded inside. The TSA agent, a middle-aged man with a skeptical frown, scrutinized her passport and economy boarding pass. You sure you're in the right line, miss? He asked, his eyes lingering on her mid-hoodie and the expensive smartwatch her father had given her for her 17th birthday. This is for Group C boarding. Maya smiled politely. I'm aware. Thank you. The agent's gaze flicked to the white businessman behind her, who was waved through without question despite identical documentation. After a 10-minute delay involving a supervisor and unnecessary questions about her travel purpose, Maya was cleared. She texted Olivia. Just the usual. Handled it. At the gate, she noticed the flight attendant checking boarding passes, a tall woman with blonde hair in a tight bun, her name tag reading Karen Mitchell. Karen greeted passengers with a practiced smile, but when Maya approached, the warmth vanished. Boarding pass, Karen demanded, barely glancing at her. Maya handed it over, noting the curt tone. To 4B, middle seat, keep moving. The contrast with the friendly welcome aboard offered to others was stark, but Maya filed it away as data, scribbling in her notebook. Inconsistent customer service based on appearance potential training. Gap settling into her seat. Maya found herself between two passengers, a white teenage boy, Liam Parker, who immediately plugged in earbuds and turned toward the window, and a middle-aged black woman who introduced herself as Rosa Alvarez, a retired Air Force pilot with a warm smile. First flight, Rosa asked kindly. First commercial one in a while, Maya replied. I'm Maya. Rosa nodded. Don't worry, it'll be over before you know it. As boarding continued, Maya sketched ideas for streamlined boarding processes, her pen moving swiftly across the page. Her thoughts drifted to past slights, the teacher who'd accused her of plagiarizing her AI algorithm, the boutique clerk who'd followed her through the aisles, the neighbor who'd called the police when she jogged in her gated community. Each incident had hardened her resolve to prove herself, not just for her own sake, but for those who faced similar treatment without her resources. The drink service brought the first overt sign of trouble. Karen moved down the aisle with professional efficiency, pouring ginger ale for Rosa with a smile and serving Liam without a word. When she reached Maya, her demeanor shifted. We're low on drinks, she said, despite the fully stocked cart. Water only. Maya nodded calmly. Water's fine, thank you. Across the aisle, Ethan Carter, a lanky man in his 30s with a press badge clipped to his jacket, caught her eye. He'd noticed the discrepancy, his brow furrowing as he typed rapidly on his phone. That wasn't right, he whispered to Maya. She shrugged slightly. It happens. Ethan, a freelance journalist known for exposing corporate malfeasance, scribbled a note. Potential story discriminatory service on Horizon Airlines. The flight continued uneventfully for a while, Maya's phone buzzing with a text from her. "Father, good news. Horizon board is open to acquisition talks for our AI integration." "How's the flight?" Maya's eyes widened. She hadn't known Horizon Airlines was the target of her father's latest expansion plan, a move to test her AI safety protocols in a real-world setting. "Educational," she texted back, her fingers hesitating over the keys. A sudden jolt of turbulence rocked the plane, causing Karen to stumble and passengers to gasp. Liam jerked in surprise, knocking Maya's arm and spilling water across his designer jeans. "What the hell?" he shouted, yanking out his earbuds. "I'm sorry," Maya said quickly. "It was the turbulence." Liam's face reddened. "You did that on purpose," his voice carried, drawing attention. "You know my name?" he demanded when Maya called him by name, spotting his luggage tag in the overhead bin. "Flight attendant," he yelled, waving at Karen. "This girl dumped water all over me." Karen hurried over, her expression hardening as she took in the scene. "What happened here?" she demanded, her tone already accusing. "She spilled water on me on purpose," Liam insisted, playing up his indignation. "Probably jealous of my $300 jeans." Maya kept her voice steady. "The turbulence caused the spill." "I was holding my cup firmly." Karen's eyes narrowed. "Sir, I'm so sorry. Let me get club soda and a towel." As she walked away, Liam smirked. "Nobody's gonna believe you over me." Ethan leaned forward. "I saw it all. It was an accident." Karen returned, fussing over Liam and ignoring Maya entirely. "Thank you for speaking up," Maya whispered to Ethan. He shrugged. "Can't stand unfairness." The tension simmered as the flight progressed. Karen skipped Maya's row during seatbelt checks, despite Rosa pointing it out. "Excuse me, you didn't check our row," Rosa said. Karen barely glanced back. "Your belts are fastened. I'm focusing on rows that need attention." Maya noticed her checking the fully fastened row behind them. Another data point for her notebook. Selective enforcement of safety protocols. The passenger in front system. Front of her reclined his seat fully, crushing Maya's knees against the tray table. "Excuse me, sir," she said politely, tapping his shoulder. "Could you raise your seat a bit?" "My legs are trapped." He ignored her. She pressed the call button, waiting 5 minutes with no response. After a second press, still nothing, though Karen promptly answered other rows' calls. Rosa muttered, "Unbelievable." Liam snickered. "Maybe you're invisible." Maya stood carefully, navigating the tight space to the galley where Karen arranged meal trays. "Excuse me," Maya said. I pressed the call button twice. Karen barely looked up. "I'm busy." "What do you need?" Maya explained the reclined seat issue. Karen cut her off. "Passengers can use their seats as they wish. Should have booked premium economy if you wanted legroom." Her pointed look added. "If you could afford it." Maya returned to her seat, biting back a retort. The irony stung her. Father could buy the plane, but she stayed calm, noting customer service bias impacts safety perception. Meal service brought another slight. "I pre-ordered vegetarian," Maya said when Karen skipped her. No record of that. Karen replied coldly. We're out of meals. Rosa frowned. Can you check again? Karen snapped. I've checked. She should have confirmed. Properly. Maya pulled an energy bar from her bag, unfazed. Hunger was nothing new. She'd faced worse. She jotted. Inconsistent meal distribution. Training issue? The cabin lights dimmed, and Maya worked under her reading light, sketching AI integration ideas. A chill set in, and she noticed blankets distributed to others, spotting Karen with a stack. She raised her hand. Could I have a blanket, please? Karen clutched the stack tightly. These are for premium customers only. Maya frowned. You gave 122 to C. He's economy. Karen's eyes flashed. Are you calling me a liar? Her voice drew stares. No. I'm asking if a blanket's available, Maya said calmly. Karen leaned in, hissing. You're trying to steal amenities meant for paying customers. Rosa removed her earbuds, sensing trouble. Is there a problem? Karen snapped. Your seatmate's trying to take premium supplies. Liam laughed. Busted for blanket theft. New low. Maya took a deep breath. Never mind. I'm fine. But Karen wasn't done. Show me your boarding pass. You might be in the wrong seat. With the plane's Wi-Fi, Maya pulled up her digital pass. I've been here all flight. Karen's eyes landed on Maya's backpack. That bag's oversized. It goes in the overhead. Maya gripped the strap. It fits under the seat. And my prototype's fragile. Karen yanked the bag, sparking a brief tug of war. Liam stuck out his foot, tripping Maya. The bag hit the floor, spilling notebooks, pencils, and her AI prototype, a sleek, palm-sized device with blinking lights. Rosa gasped, discreetly recording on her phone. Karen sneered, picking up a technical drawing. What's this? Doodles. Maya's voice tightened. Patent-pending safety tech. Boeing's reviewing it. Karen crumpled the paper's corner, laughing. Right, and I'm the queen. Maya's anger flared. Those designs could save lives. They're being tested at mid-next month. Liam scoffed. Yeah, and my dad owns Google. Karen tossed the paper back. I don't care if it's rocket plans. You're a disruption. Maya gathered her things. Texting Olivia. Need help. The situation was spiraling. I apologize for the disruption, she said formally, channeling her father's boardroom tone. But this started when you took my property without consent. Murmurs of agreement rose from nearby passengers. Karen's face reddened. Her authority slipping. Listen, she shouted, addressing the cabin. I've been a flight attendant for 15 years. I deal with entitled passengers daily who think rules don't apply to them. Maya stood firm. I'm just asking for equal respect. Ethan spoke up. She's right. You've treated her differently all flight. Others chimed in. She's done nothing wrong, said an elderly woman. You're singling her out, added a college student. Karen snapped. This isn't a democracy. I'm in charge of safety. Maya pulled out her prototype. This AI device predicts technical failures with 92% accuracy. Midst testing it, it could save lives. Karen laughed. A teenager made that. You think I'm stupid. Maya showed her mid-acceptance letter. I'm Maya Thompson. I've designed safety systems since I was 15, Karen scoffed. Thompson, like Daniel Thompson. What's next? You're a billionaire's kid flying economy for kicks. The truth hung heavy, but Maya stayed calm. My background's irrelevant. I deserve basic courtesy. Karen stepped closer, voice venomous. You're just another entitled black brat thinking the world owes you. Gasps filled the cabin. Rose's phone kept recording. Ethan half stood. In protest, Maya's voice remained steady. That was racist and inappropriate. I want your supervisor. In a flash, Karen's hand asked, slapping Maya's cheek. The crack echoed like a gunshot. Silence engulfed the cabin. Maya touched. Her face, blood trickling from her lip. She pulled out her phone, dialing her father. Dad, by this airline. Olivia appeared from first class, moving with military precision. Ms. Thompson, are you okay? Another flight attendant, Jamal Carter, whispered to Karen Thompson. As in Thompson Innovations, Karen's face paled. The captain's voice crackled. We're making an emergency landing in Denver due to a cabin incident. The descent was tense, passengers worriting and posting videos. Karen retreated. To the galley, shaken, Jamal brought Maya an ice pack, whispering, I'm sorry, Ms. Thompson. I should have acted sooner. She nodded, texting her father. Through the window, Maya saw police cars, an ambulance, and airline executives on the tarmac. Olivia leaned. In videos are trending. Your father's PR team is on it. At the gate, security officers boarded. Heading for Maya's row, Karen stepped forward. Officers, this passenger is disruptive and needs to be removed. Olivia cut in, showing her credentials. I'm Olivia Grant, assistant to the Thompson family. Maya Thompson, daughter of Daniel Thompson, was assaulted by this flight attendant. The officer's eyes widened, checking his tablet. We're here about an assault on a minor. Outside, news vans gathered, #Justice for Maya trending nationwide. Horizon's CEO, Margaret Evans, boarded, visibly shaken. Ms. Thompson, we're deeply sorry, a sharp-dressed woman interrupted. I'm Sarah Nguyen, Thompson Innovations Council. All communication goes through us. Daniel Thompson strode aboard, his presence commanding. He examined Maya's bruise, fury flashing in his eyes, then hugged her. Are you okay? I'm fine, Dad, Maya said, her voice wavering. Daniel faced Evans. Our acquisition meeting is now immediate. After Maya's medical check, the terms have changed. He glared at Karen. This employee's suspended, pending termination and charges for assault and civil rights violations. Sarah Nguyen added, we have 20 witness statements and 12 videos. Passengers applauded as Daniel and Maya exited, Maya clutching her notebook. The cabin buzzed with whispers of Thompson's acquisition plans. Karen slumped. Realizing she'd assaulted the daughter of a man poised to own her airline, Maya whispered to her father, I want to be part of the decisions. He nodded, pride in his eyes. Of course, the tarmac swarmed with media. Horizon's stock plummeted 10% in minutes. Maya, ice pack on her cheek, walked with Daniel to a waiting car. She glanced back at the plane, her resolve hardening. This wasn't just about her, it was about every passenger who'd faced similar treatment. Her AI prototype, still in her bag, symbolized her mission, safety, and dignity for all. As the car pulled away, Maya began sketching a plan, not for revenge, but for a revolution in aviation equity. The storm of Flight 472 was just the beginning. The private suite at Denver's Airport Marriott hummed with urgency, its floor-to-ceiling windows framing a restless tarmac where news vans multiplied. Like fireflies in the dusk, inside, Maya Thompson sat by the window, an ice pack pressed against her swollen cheek, her hazel eyes tracking the planes taxiing in the distance. The faint bruise and split lip from Karen Mitchell's slap were a stark reminder of the chaos on Flight 472. But Maya's focus wasn't on her pain, it was on the opportunity it presented. At 18, she was no stranger to adversity, having navigated racism and skepticism throughout her life. As a black prodigy in artificial intelligence, now, with the hashtag Justice for Maya trending at over 100 million views within 24 hours, she saw not just a personal injustice, but a chance to reshape an industry. Her father, Daniel Thompson, CEO of Thompson Innovations, paced the room, his tailored suit barely containing the fury radiating from his 6'3" frame. His legal team, led by the formidable Sarah Nguyen, huddled over laptops, drafting statements and compiling evidence. Maya's assistant, Olivia Grant, stood sentinel near the door, her ex-FBI instincts on high alert. The videos from the flight captured by Rosa Alvarez, Ethan Carter, and other passengers had ignited a firestorm, exposing Horizon Airlines' discriminatory practices and Karen's assault on a minor. But as the world demanded justice, Maya was already thinking beyond punishment. She clutched her leather-bound notebook, its pages filled with sketches of her AI safety prototype and new notes. Systemic bias in service delivery. Industry-wide reform is needed. This wasn't about revenge, it was about transformation. The suit's television blared with breaking news. CNN's anchor, voice grave, replayed a carefully edited clip of Karen's slap, the crack echoing as Maya's head snapped to the side. The incident aboard Horizon Airlines Flight 472 has sparked outrage, the anchor said. The victim, Maya Thompson, is the daughter of tech billionaire Daniel Thompson, whose company was reportedly in talks to acquire Horizon. Social media is ablaze with hashtag Justice for Maya, with calls for boycotts and federal investigations. Maya muted the TV, her expression unreadable. The media frenzy was a double-edged sword, amplifying her story, but risking reducing her to a victim. Rather than the engineer she was, her phone buzzed relentlessly with messages, support from classmates at Crestwood Academy, outrage from civil rights groups, and a cryptic text from an unknown number. Your device is a fraud. Drop it, or we'll expose you. Maya's brow furrowed. The message hinted at a larger threat, one she'd later connect to Cybertech, a rival AI firm with a vested interest in derailing her prototype. For now, she forwarded it to Olivia, who frowned and began tracing the number. Daniel stopped pacing, his dark eyes softening as he looked at his daughter. Maya, you don't have to do this now. The doctor said rest and observation for the contusion. We can handle this. Maya lowered the ice pack, revealing the fading handprint. Dad, I'm not fragile. This isn't just about me. It's about every passenger who's been treated like they don't belong. Her voice was steady, echoing her late mother Angela's resolve. Angela, a social justice advocate, had taught Maya to document injustices and respond strategically. We have a platform, Maya continued. Let's use it to fix the system. Daniel nodded, pride flickering through his anger. What's your plan? Maya opened her notebook. An industry-wide initiative. Anti-discrimination training, transparent reporting, and my AI are integrated into safety protocols. Horizon can be the test case. Sarah Nguyen looked up from her tablet. Ambitious. We have enough evidence for criminal charges against Mitchell, a civil rights lawsuit, and leverage for a full acquisition. But a systemic overhaul, that's a different beast. Maya met her gaze. Punishing one person doesn't change the culture. We need accountability at every level. Outside, the tarmac buzzed with activity. Horizon Airlines stock had plummeted 25% since landing, triggering trading halts. The company's CEO, Margaret Evans, issued a public apology on X, promising a thorough investigation into Karen's actions. But the statement was drowned out by viral clips of the incident. Rosa Alvarez's video, showing Karen's racial slur and the slap, had been viewed 50 million times alone. Ethan Carter, the journalist, had posted a scathing thread on X, detailing Karen's discriminatory behavior throughout the flight and hinting at a deeper expose on Horizon's practices. This isn't one bad apple, he wrote. It's a rotten orchard. Rosa, the retired Air Force pilot, had emailed Maya a copy of her footage, along with a note. Your device is the real deal. I've seen enough cockpit tech to know. Don't let them discredit you. Maya smiled faintly, touched by the support. Rose's expertise as a pilot would later prove crucial. But for now, her video was a cornerstone of their case. The suite door opened, and a young man in a Horizon uniform entered, his name tag reading Jamal Carter. His face was pale, his eyes apologetic. Miss Thompson, he said, addressing Maya directly. I'm the other flight attendant from 472. I saw what Karen did, and I should have stepped in. I was scared of losing my job. That's no excuse. Maya studied him, noting his sincerity. Thank you, Jamal. Will you give a statement? He nodded. Anything to make this right. Olivia escorted him out, promising to coordinate with Sarah's team. Maya added to her notes. Bystander inaction training must address fear of retaliation. The room grew quiet as Daniel reviewed the latest financial reports. Horizon's board is panicking, he said. They're offering a 20% discount on last week's acquisition valuation. They know they're facing lawsuits and bankruptcy. Maya's eyes narrowed. We don't just buy them out. We set conditions, my conditions. As night fell, the media presence outside doubled. Reporters broadcast live, their satellite dishes glowing against the Denver skyline. Horizon Airlines is in crisis, one anchor reported. The assault on Maya Thompson, a teenage AI prodigy, has exposed systemic issues. Sources confirm Thompson Innovations was exploring a partnership to integrate AI safety tech. But this incident may shift the deal toward a hostile takeover. Maya watched the coverage, her mind racing. The anonymous text gnawed at her. Cybertech, a competitor known for aggressive tactics, had been lobbying against her AI prototype, claiming it was unproven despite MIT's endorsement. Their CEO, Victor Lang, had a history of sabotaging rivals, and Maya suspected the text was their opening salvo. She handed her phone to Olivia. "Can you dig into Cybertech? They're up to something." Olivia nodded, her fingers already typing. A message to her contacts. The next morning, Maya woke to a flood of notifications. Her mid-professors had emailed their support, offering to fast-track her prototype's testing. Civil rights organizations, including the NAACP, called for an FAA investigation into airline discrimination. On X, celebrities and influencers amplified. #Justice for Maya, with one pop star tweeting, "Maya Thompson is a hero. Airlines need to do better." But not all reactions were supportive. A smear campaign emerged, with anonymous accounts claiming Maya's AI device was a publicity stunt and that she'd provoked Karen to play the victim. The posts traced back to IP addresses linked to Cybertech's PR firm, though, proving it would take time. Maya ignored the noise, focusing on her notebook. She sketched a framework for the Thompson Aviation Equity Program, mandatory bias training, body cameras for flight attendants, anonymous complaint systems, and AI-driven safety audits. "We start with Horizon," she told her father, "but this goes industry-wide." Daniel arranged an emergency meeting with Horizon's board at a Denver conference center. Maya insisted on attending, despite Olivia's concerns about her health. "I'm not sitting this out," she said, adjusting her mitt hoodie. The bruise on her cheek was fading, but the memory of Karen's words, entitled "Black Brat," burned. She channeled the anger into resolve, recalling her mother's advice: document everything. Stay strategic. At the meeting, Margaret Evans greeted them nervously, flanked by Horizon's legal team. "Mr. Thompson, Ms. Thompson, we're horrified by what happened," she began. "Karen Mitchell is on administrative leave, and we're cooperating with authorities." Daniel's voice was icy. "That's not enough. Your employee assaulted my daughter, a minor. After a pattern of racial discrimination, we have videos, witnesses, and a plummeting stock price to prove it." Sarah Nguyen slid a tablet across the table. 22 witness statements, 15 videos, and a preliminary FAA complaint. "We're prepared to file criminal charges and a civil rights lawsuit." Maya spoke up, her voice calm but firm. "I don't want to destroy Horizon. I want to rebuild it." The room fell silent. "Your airline can be a change model. Implement my safety tech and a new equity program training, transparency, accountability. If you agree, we'll consider a partnership over a hostile takeover." Evans exchanged glances with her team. "What are the terms?" Maya handed over a document she drafted overnight. "Mandatory anti-bias training for all staff, body cameras with privacy protocols, an independent review board, and my AI system integrated into your fleet within 6 months. Daniel added, and full control of your board during the transition. Evans paled but nodded. We'll review and respond by tomorrow. Back at the hotel, Maya met with Ethan Carter, who'd flown to Denver to pitch his expose to a major outlet. I've dug into Horizon's records, he said, sipping coffee. This isn't their first discrimination complaint. They've settled 3 lawsuits in 5 years, all hushed up. Maya leaned forward. Can you publish that? Ethan grinned. Already pitched to the Atlantic. It drops tomorrow. Rosa Alvarez joined them, her pilot's cap tucked under her arm. Your AI device is brilliant, she told Maya. I run cockpit sims for 20 years. Your predictive algorithms could have saved us from near misses. Maya thanked her, adding Rose's contact to her growing list of allies. I'd like you to consult on the AI rollout, she said. Rose's eyes lit up. Count me in. The smear campaign intensified. Cybertech's proxies flooded X with claims that Maya's prototype was untested and dangerous. A tech blog, secretly funded by Cybertech, published a hit piece, Teen Prodigy or Tech Fraud? Maya Thompson's device raises questions. Maya read it, her stomach tightening. The article quoted an anonymous expert dismissing her work as child's play. She texted Olivia, "We need a public demo of the prototype. Shut them up." Olivia arranged a press conference for the next day, coordinating with MIT to validate the device's specs. Meanwhile, Liam Parker, the teenager who'd mocked Maya on the flight, sent a private message via X. I was a jerk. My dad works with your dad's company. I didn't know who you were. I'm sorry. Maya stared at the message, torn. Liam's actions had hurt, but his apology seemed genuine. She replied, apology noted. Actions matter more. Learn from this. The press conference was held in a Denver hotel ballroom, packed with reporters and cameras. Maya stood at the podium, her prototype on a table beside her. This device, she began, uses AI to predict technical failures with 90% accuracy. It's not a toy, it's a potential lifesaver. She connected the device to a laptop, displaying real-time data from a simulated flight. The screen showed a warning. Hydraulic pressure anomaly detected. 87% risk. Gasps rippled through the room as Rosa explained. That kind of alert could prevent a crash. Miss Dean of Engineering, via video call, confirmed the device's legitimacy. Ms. Thompson's work is groundbreaking, he said. We're testing it in our simulators next month. The demo crushed Cybertech's narrative, and the article's author issued a retraction within hours. That night, Maya requested a private meeting with her father. I want to meet Karen Mitchell, she said. Daniel frowned. After what she did, Maya nodded, not for forgiveness, for understanding. She's part of the system we're changing. Daniel hesitated, but agreed, trusting her judgment. Sarah Nguyen arranged a restorative justice session, conditional on Karen's cooperation. As Maya prepared for bed, she opened her mother's notebook, finding a quote Angela had written. Change the system, not just the symptoms. Maya smiled, feeling her mother's presence. The legal team reported that Horizon's board had accepted their terms, offering a 30% valuation discount and full compliance. Maya added a final note. The Thompson Aviation Equity Program begins now. Horizon is step one. The wave of outrage had crested, but Maya knew the real work was just beginning. Cybertech's shadow loomed, and the industry's resistance to change would test her resolve. Yet, as she watched planes soar into the Denver night, she felt ready, not as a victim, but as a leader with a vision to make every flight a journey of dignity and safety. 1 year after the storm of Flight 472, Maya Thompson stood in the aisle of a gleaming new aircraft, its interior a testament to her vision. The plane, the flagship of the newly rebranded Thompson Airways, was parked in a Seattle hangar, surrounded by journalists, industry leaders, and aviation enthusiasts. At 18, Maya was no longer just the teenage prodigy who'd endured a racist assault. She was a force reshaping the aviation industry. Her AI-driven safety prototype, once mocked as doodles by a prejudiced flight attendant, was now integrated into every Thompson Airways plane, reducing technical risks by 40%. The cabin featured her innovations: intuitive emergency lighting, enhanced oxygen mask systems, and accessibility features for disabled passengers. As cameras flashed, Maya addressed the crowd. Her navy blazer crisp over a white blouse, the faint scar on her cheek a reminder of the incident that had sparked this transformation. "This aircraft," she said, her voice steady, "represents a commitment to safety and dignity for every passenger, no matter who they are." The words echoed her mother's mantra. "Don't let injustice define you. Let your actions do." That, what had begun as a personal trauma on a Horizon Airlines flight, had become a revolution, with Thompson Airways setting a new standard for equity and innovation. But as Maya guided the media through the plane, her mind was already on the next challenge, ensuring this change rippled beyond one airline to transform an entire industry. The past year had been a whirlwind. The viral outrage of #Justice for Maya had forced Horizon Airlines into a corner, their stock plummeting 30% in the wake of the incident. Daniel Thompson, Maya's father and CEO of Thompson Innovations, had acquired a controlling interest in the airline at a 30% discount. But under Maya's conditions, it would become a testing ground for her Thompson Aviation Equity Program. The program was a bold blueprint: mandatory anti-bias training, body cameras for flight attendants, anonymous reporting systems for passengers, diverse hiring practices, and quarterly transparency reports audited by an independent board with civil rights representation. Maya's AI safety prototype, a palm-sized device capable of predicting technical failures with 90% accuracy, was now standard equipment, its real-time alerts displayed on cockpit screens. The rebranded Thompson Airways boasted a 60% diverse executive team, a stark contrast to Horizon's all-white leadership. Customer satisfaction ratings had soared, and the airline was the fastest-growing carrier in the U.S., with other airlines scrambling to license Maya's training and tech. The transformation hadn't been easy. Maya had balanced her freshman year at MIT's aerospace engineering program with her role on Thompson Airways board, often working late into the night on both coursework and policy drafts. Her father's pride was palpable, but he worried about the toll. "You're 18, Maya," he'd said during one of their weekly strategy calls. "You don't have to carry this alone." Maya had smiled, clutching her mother's leather-bound notebook, now filled with her notes and Angela's quotes. "Mom taught me to turn pain into progress, Dad. I'm not stopping." The media tour was the culmination of that progress, but it was also personal. Maya had insisted on leading it herself, standing in economy class, her chosen seat, to emphasize her commitment to the everyday passenger. As she explained the redesigned oxygen masks, which delivered 28% more oxygen in the critical first 90 seconds of an emergency, a reporter asked, "Ms. Thompson, how does it feel to turn a traumatic experience into this?" Maya paused, her hazel eyes scanning the crowd. "It feels like responsibility," she said. "This isn't about me. It's about the passengers who face discrimination without a platform to fight back." The journey to this moment had been fraught with challenges. In the weeks following Flight 472, Cybertech, a rival AI firm led by the ruthless Victor Lang, had escalated its smear campaign. They'd flooded X with anonymous posts calling Maya's prototype unreliable and her a publicity-seeking teenager. A leaked internal memo, later traced to Cybertech's PR firm, revealed their plan to discredit her before her device could disrupt their contracts. With major airlines, Maya had countered with a public demo in Denver, live-streamed to millions, where her prototype accurately predicted a simulated hydraulic failure. The demo, backed by MIT's endorsement and Rosa Alvarez's expert testimony as a former Air Force pilot, had crushed Cybertech's narrative. The FAA launched an investigation into Cybertech's practices, uncovering evidence of paid influencers and fabricated data. By the time the investigation hit the news, Cybertech's stock had dropped 15%, and Victor Lang issued a public apology, claiming miscommunication within his team. Maya wasn't fooled. She knew they'd try again, but she was ready. Back in the hangar, Maya guided the tour to the cockpit, where a pilot demonstrated her AI's interface. The screen flashed a warning: engine pressure anomaly, 85% risk. The pilot explained, "This alert gives us 10 minutes to act before a potential failure. Without it, we'd be guessing." The journalists scribbled furiously, and Boeing representatives in the crowd exchanged impressed glances. Boeing had since signed a preliminary deal to integrate Maya's tech into their next-generation aircraft, a victory that had NASA inviting her to present at their annual safety conference. But Maya's focus wasn't on accolades. She pointed to a small plaque by the cabin door, engraved with Thompson Airways' new mission: "Everyone soars with dignity." "This isn't just about tech," she told the crowd. "It's about ensuring every passenger feels safe and respected, from boarding to landing." The transformation extended beyond hardware. Maya had personally led the first anti-bias training session for Thompson Airways staff, held in a Chicago conference center 3 months after the incident. Over 500 employees attended. From flight attendants to executives, Maya stood at the podium, her bruise long faded, but her resolve stronger than ever. I was a passenger like any other, she'd told them, recounting the slurs and the slap without flinching. But I wasn't treated like one. That's what we're here to change. The session included role-playing scenarios, implicit bias workshops, and protocols for bystander intervention. Jamal Carter, the flight attendant who'd failed to act on flight for 172, had volunteered to share his regret. I stood by because I was scared, he admitted. That's on me, but it's also on the system that didn't train me to act. The session ended with a standing ovation, and Jamal was now head of Thompson Airways' Cultural Competency Department, developing intervention protocols industry-wide. The ripple effects were profound. Rosa Alvarez, the retired pilot, had joined Thompson Airways as a safety consultant. Her expertise shaped the AI's integration. Her testimony at an FAA hearing had led to new regulations mandating bias training for all U.S. airlines. Ethan Carter's Expose, published in The Atlantic, had exposed Horizon's history of settled discrimination lawsuits, prompting a class action suit from past passengers. Ethan now advised Maya's equity program, ensuring its transparency measures were airtight. Even Liam Parker, the teenager who'd mocked Maya on the flight, had transformed after his suspension from school and the loss of his father's contract. With Thompson Innovations, Liam completed court-mandated community service at an aviation program for underprivileged youth. In Chicago, he wrote Maya a handwritten letter. I was an idiot. I'm learning to be better, thanks to you. Maya invited him to volunteer with her scholarship program, the Thompson Future Innovators Fund, which supported young black engineers. Liam, now 17, was teaching kids to build model drones, a humbling step toward redemption. The scholarship program was a cornerstone of Maya's vision. At a Miami ceremony, Maya watched as Rose's daughter, Isabella Alvarez, received the first full-ride scholarship to study aerospace engineering. Your video changed everything, Maya told Rosa, who beamed with pride. It didn't just help me, it opened doors for others. The program had already funded 20 students, with plans to expand globally. Meanwhile, Connor Anderson, the businessman who'd spoken up on the flight, had launched a diversity initiative at his investment firm, inspired by Maya's composure. You showed me what a leadership looks like, he told her at a board meeting. I'm paying it forward. His firm now mandates bystander training, a model adopted by dozens of corporations. Cybertech's interference hadn't stopped. At a Seattle Tech Expo 6 months prior, Victor Lang had confronted Maya during her presentation, questioning her prototype's reliability. Maya, unfazed, invited him to test it live. When the device flagged a simulated fuel leak with 94% accuracy, the audience erupted in applause, and Lang stormed out. The FAA's investigation later revealed Cybertech's illegal lobbying, leading to fines and a leadership shakeup. Maya's prototype was now licensed to 3 major airlines. With Boeing and NASA planning broader rollouts, Mid had featured her work in a special exhibition, Innovators of Tomorrow, with a section on transportation equity at her request. The dean's note had moved her. Your leadership transcends engineering. Ms. Thompson, you're redefining what's possible. Back at the hangar, the media tour concluded with a surprise. Daniel Thompson took the stage, his presence commanding as ever. 1 year ago, my daughter faced hatred on a flight, he said. Today, she's turned that pain into progress. He announced the Washington Aviation Academy, a technical school for underrepresented communities. With Maya as its founding advisor, the crowd roared, and Maya felt a lump in her throat. Her mother's notebook, tucked in her pocket, held a quote she'd read the night before. Change the system, not just the symptoms. She'd done just that. As the journalists dispersed, Maya lingered in the cabin, sitting in an economy seat. A flight attendant, a young black woman named Aisha, approached. Ms. Thompson, you've changed how we do this job, she said. Thank you. Maya smiled. We're just getting started. The inaugural transcontinental flight of Thompson Airways' new fleet took off the next day, with Maya aboard. In economy, the diverse crew greeted every passenger with equal warmth, their body cameras discreetly active. The captain's voice came over the intercom. Welcome to Thompson Airways, where everyone soars with dignity. Maya looked out the window, her notebook open to a new page. Her next project, an AI system for real-time accessibility adjustments, was already taking shape. The horizon stretched endlessly, a reminder that change was never complete. But Maya Thompson, the girl who'd turned a slap into a revolution, was ready for the journey ahead.